I'm not gonna have many opportunities to make videos in a few days, so unfortunately we're not gonna be walking, but we will be talking in nature. Not exactly nature, it's just a farmer's field that I live by. Now, truth be told, I've sort of kind of made this video twice before. And what I mean by that is I filmed this video twice before because it relates to things that have happened recently in my personal life. But in those takes, I feel like I may have added way too much personal information, so I've since unlisted and privated them. Because I have so many different things on my account and so many different people, personal and public life, come to my channel for different reasons. Whether it just be like to look at my music and stuff, you know, I'd hate for the wrong person to stumble on one of those videos and probably instantly know it was about them and get all butthurt. So I'll just keep it short and sweet. This is how I deal with people I don't like. Now, first and foremost, you gotta identify people that you don't like. Well, there's probably different check boxes for everything, for everybody. But for me, I don't do narcissism, I don't do like arrogance, I don't do people that aren't humble. You know, I like a specific type of person. You know, you can be goofy and be loud, but at the end of the day, I think what I'm looking for most out of the individuals that I associate with is humility. I think a good measure, in my opinion, if a person's a good person, or at least doesn't take themselves too seriously, is if they can like be the butt of their own jokes, you know? Because once you remove humility from comedy, you know, it's not really comedy anymore, it's just bullying, it's just punching down, you know? That's kind of like that old saying. But once you've like identified people that you don't like, you can then like go further on and decide, you know, I will no longer be investing my energy in these people. Because what I dislike most is not only when somebody has a bunch of characteristics I don't like, but their strategy for obtaining attention, recognition, and validation is by being like really goofy, off the wall, and random for no reason at all, and just causing like a scene. And you know, I hate to talk like this because it does sound condescending, and you know, it is basically armchair psychology. But I've said this like multiple times in videos since like I've started walking on the woods again. But you know, the cliches, they're cliches for a reason. Classics are classics for a reason, you know. Nobody goes through life like being like hateful all the time. Like, nobody should be that hateful to where they feel like they have to be hateful to other people in order to I guess self-soothe their own pain. And in my opinion, to me, it's like either they've been getting bullied a lot in their past life, or like, you know, when they're having like spontaneous outbursts or saying the most wretched shit imaginable. You know, as I got older, I kind of realized these are probably yesterday's kids that just didn't get a lot of attention from their parents, you know. When people are like that, I just feel like they probably were not paid attention to a lot as kids, and that was weird. They're probably like lashing out and just acting out, getting whatever attention, good or bad, that they can get, because you know, as long as people are engaging with them, at least they feel real, you know. And what do? What do? We don't feed the trolls, because not only is energy, energy is also nourishment for certain types of individuals, and people like that kind of fall into like a broad spectrum, in my opinion, of more overarching personality disorders like narcissism and sociopathy and stuff like that. So I realize, and even myself, you know, all of us, we've all been like hurt individuals in the past. We've all been young. We've all been unable to, well, at least I have in the past. I was not able to deal with the emotional turmoil inside of me. Like, my emotions truly controlled me, at least my mental state. And it usually was not good, but it was also, off note, kind of fighting alcoholism a little bit. And that's when it's like end game for me. Once I can like disarm this illusion of like these very wrath and fury type of characters, and I can see the one like chip in the armor, and I can see right through, and it's not like a hulking, terrifying monster underneath the armor, but just like a squishy, afraid guy, like I was. Yeah, I guess in a way that like disarms the whole image, and it, for me, like, I guess I hate to say like humanizing my enemies, because some of these people can be extremely prejudiced on like racial grounds and whatnot. It does, you know, and it's like, oh well, you know, these poor schmucks can't help but hate me because, you know, or be mean to me or whatever, because they're actually very unsatisfied with their own life, and they haven't really matured past that phase where they need other people's attention and you know, validation. So, you know, life is really liberating once you've evolved past, I guess. I guess that's kind of a conceited way of putting it, evolved past, but I can't really think of, or progressed past, maybe. The innate, young, youthful necessity to have constant validation from everyone. You know, you unlock so much tranquility and peace in life, and you might actually realize for one of the first times in your life you can clearly, concisely focus on things. That's a little quick chat, and that's all I got to say for now. Until next time, everybody.